Looks like we actually have a road closure sign right up ahead. Let's see what happens here. This vehicle looks like it's trying to go through. I'm not sure what FSD is doing. I'm going to go through just because that car went. We're totally blocked here. So I'm going to go ahead and disable FSD. Oh my God, that's awesome. I've actually never seen this happen. FSD has to start negotiating. And I've seen it negotiate very, very well. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Barry. I focus on Tesla FSD or full self-driving software. We're out for a drive right now. It is a stormy day, but I am excited nonetheless because I finally got a new update for FSD. So I'm running 13.2.7. I received the update a few days ago and I took it out on a few short drives here and there. Nothing crazy, nothing long distance or anything like that. This is really going to be the first time I'm putting it through the test. So again, 13.2.7, super excited to try it out. I've heard awesome things. Thanks for tuning into today's video. What I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and engage FSD right now. And there we go. So the car is now going to drive itself for the remainder of the route. We're showing about 37 degrees Fahrenheit here in central Ohio. It is a gray and overcast day, as you can see, but again, I'm super excited to try out this latest version. I went back and I checked to see when I had the latest update, which was 13.2.2, and it was about 45 days ago or so. So I'm super excited about this version update. We'll see how it does today. I've seen other videos, other channels recommending this update, and it's been flawless as usual. So we'll see if we could spot any differences. I don't expect to see too many differences just because this is a incremental update. So we went from 13.2.2 to 13.2.7, but we'll see. FSD is always surprising me every day. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Looks like we actually have a road closure sign right up ahead. Okay, wow. So let's see what happens here. This vehicle looks like it's trying to go through. I'm not sure what FSD is doing. So FSD is basically just stopping here for a second. I'm going to give it some accelerator. I'm going to go through just because that car went. But, oh man, we're getting real close to that cone there on the left side. Okay. Again, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be going through because, I mean, obviously there was a road closure sign ahead, but I saw at least one car go through. So, okay, so now I see the full closure up ahead. So we're totally blocked here. So I'm going to go ahead and disable FSD. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn left here because obviously that's completely closed off. So there is absolutely nowhere to go. And I'm going to pull into here and then I'm going to go ahead and back out from this plaza. But it was interesting. So, I mean, FSD is pretty much trying to kind of resemble the characteristic of the lead car again. Not the first time I've seen this, but the car in front of me was trying to go through and FSD recognized that and it tried to mimic what the lead car in front of us was doing. So not the first time I've seen that, but interesting to see nonetheless. You know, obviously there was nowhere to go and the right decision was probably not to go at all and just find the next available safe detour. But, you know, FSD kind of followed this car in front. So that was interesting to see. Again, I don't know how that's going to work with unsupervised, right? I mean, imagine there's nobody in the car and it tries to go right through. I'm going to go ahead and engage FSD from here again, by the way, and then we should be making a left at this light. But right here is where we had this closure. And so FSD still tried to go around it because it saw the car in front of us do the same thing. And a couple blocks down, not even a couple blocks, probably just a block down, it was completely closed. So this first block was just warning drivers, hey, don't cross, you can't go. Then a block down the road, as you saw where I disengaged, it was completely closed off. Now, if I didn't disengage, let's say, and it moved towards that second block where it was completely closed off, there was no way to maneuver around it whatsoever, what would happen? I think it would just stall. It would pretty much just park itself and then quit. And so what happens in an unsupervised experience? Like, you can't just leave the car there, right? That would be insane. So I don't know. We'll see kind of what Tesla comes up in scenarios like that. But that's tricky. That's really tricky. You know, that lead car went around it. So did we. And ultimately, we would have faced a complete block and then it would stop in the road. So Nissan 350Z here in front of me. I haven't seen one of those in a while. It looks like a soft top convertible. So we're making a left here at this light. I hope everybody is doing well. We just passed 2,000 subscribers on the channel. I can't express how appreciative I am of each and every one of you subscribing to the channel, watching my videos, commenting on my videos. I've been getting so many comments, and I've been trying to read and respond to as many as I can. I've gotten a couple hundred at this point, maybe close to 1,000 total comments, if not more at this point. So I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button. It really helps me out, helps the channel, and I would really appreciate it. So it looks like the light's turning yellow. We were still well behind the line, but FSD decided to go forward anyways. By the way, we are in the hurry profile right now, so that's probably why it decided to move forward even though we were behind the white line. The light was turning yellow, and it just moved forward anyways. Very assertive in hurry mode. So it's raining, and one thing that, and this has nothing to do with FSD, by the way, it's just the auto wipe feature. It's gotten better, but it's still not perfect. When there's rain, it will sometimes delay turning itself on, so the wipers will just delay coming on and wiping the windshield. Right now it's doing okay, so maybe it's getting a little bit better. I think they included something in one of their updates, maybe it was the holiday update, that they included better wiper functionality. So that's one thing I'm calling out. It's getting better. It's not perfect, which is crazy to me, to be honest with you, that there's a whole full self-driving software that's super intelligent, neural net, AI, everything in this vehicle, multiple camera fleets. But it's kind of comical that the one thing that we can't yet get 100% is the wiper functionality. Like I said, it's better, but not perfect. So we're making a right turn here at this light. This is a 2-lane turn, so the right and the left lane can turn. There is a no turn on red sign, so we can only turn on the green arrow. That's something FSD can't do, is read signs like that, which is, again, a super interesting thought on what happens with unsupervised pilots and programs they're going to be launching in Austin, Texas. If you haven't heard, they're going to be launching an unsupervised, by they I mean the Tesla team, program for their Teslas in Austin, Texas. They're shooting Q2 of 2025, and there's going to be nobody in the car. It's going to be a bunch of Model 3 and Model Y vehicles in that area, moving customers around. And it's really interesting to think that that's so close to reality. And I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I would try it just because I have, thousands of miles behind the wheel of FSD at this point, and I would definitely give it a shot in short distances. But again, there are certain situations that just baffle me in terms of how FSD is going to handle certain problems like that when there's nobody behind the seat to intervene, especially like you just saw with the construction, right? So that's an interesting thought. I've been getting also a lot of comments from you guys, and it's interesting too. This is an interesting thought. A couple generations down the road from us, our grandkids, they might not ever have to drive by that point. Like, we might just have fully autonomous vehicles driving everybody around. The norm at that point, let's go forward maybe 50 years from now, the norm might be not to even have a steering wheel. These might stop getting manufactured. Again, who knows, right? But it's interesting. In a couple decades from now, is this steering wheel going to be an antiquated piece of hardware that's hung up in a museum somewhere? I don't know. So FSD's trying to get over, but the lane's ending. Recognized that, and then it turned its signal off ultimately, and now it's going forward, which is nice. Last time I was on this road, there was a big trailer truck that was parked right here, and since it's a 2-lane road, FSD had to move around it, but it did a really good job. It didn't hesitate whatsoever. So we're approaching some train tracks here. Again, we're going to maintain hurry mode for the majority of this route. So we're slowing down behind this Nissan 350Z, going over this train track here. 2 sets of train tracks, actually. And then we're entering a 25 mile per hour speed limit. I haven't heard if 13.2.7 fixed or accommodated for speed limit changes yet. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. I mean, we're already in a 25 right now, and we're going now 32, which is good. I think I have my offset still set to about plus 15%. I want to take a second to thank Joa for sending me some of their awesome products. One of them is this wireless game controller set, which is perfect for passing the time while you're at a supercharger or waiting on someone to finish shopping, aka my wife. It connects easily, feels great, and makes Tesla arcade games way more enjoyable. They also sent me over their foldable car tray bundle, and I didn't actually realize how useful this would be. Whether you're just working, grabbing a quick bite, or need a solid surface in the car, it's super convenient and folds away when you're done. I genuinely like Joa's products. They also gave me a discount code, DET5, for Drive Electric Today 5, that's DET5, so you can save a little bit of money, and you'll also help support my channel. Thank you. The links are in the description. Now back to the video. So we're going 7 miles per hour over the speed limit, and I get a lot of viewers internationally that are surprised of US standards for driving in terms of the speed. And a lot of my international viewers are surprised that US drivers go over the speed limit, over the allocated speed limit. And that is true. Again, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. It's just the common characteristic of driving in the US, really. And so I think that's why Tesla introduced their offset settings to keep up with the flow of traffic, because you can't be going 25, really. Realistically, nobody goes 25. So if 99.9% of other vehicles aren't going the speed limit, in this case 25, you kind of have to keep up with the flow of traffic, and they've introduced that offset, which again, I'm setting mine to about 15%, which is perfect for me. I think that's really good. Usually with 15%, it goes 5 to 7 miles per hour, sometimes 10 miles per hour. It's percentage based, right? So 5 to 10 miles per hour, let's call it. And that's good. For me, that's really good. It feels comfortable. That's what I would do when I'm driving anyway. So I like to mimic what I actually drive with in terms of speed. And then I also judge FSD's decisions on decisions that I would make. So, it works for me. So we're going to be making a left turn here up at this light. We're slowing down rather soon, not sure exactly why. Visibility is cut a little bit because of this weather. We escaped here in the central Ohio area. We escaped that big snowstorm last week. I'm shooting this in the middle of February 2025, and we hardly got any snow. I woke up to some snow this morning. It was a light dusting, nothing too crazy. And again, now we're at 38 degrees Fahrenheit, so we're well above freezing point here. So we're just stuck with rain. But we're getting down to the single digits again next week. I think we're shooting to be 8 degrees, 9 degrees middle of next week. So it's going to be a cold one. Let me know down below where you guys are watching from and how the weather is by you. And let me know what your Tesla is experiencing with the weather as well. Obviously, the battery does not mingle very well with cold weather. So I'm having to charge a lot more frequently, but that's not a big deal. So let me know down below how you guys are holding up if you're watching from the northern part of the US or internationally. Making a right turn here into this little plaza. This is the first stop of about 4 or 5 that I've got programmed. So we're pulling into here. I'm going to go ahead and edit this trip and then remove this first stop, click done. And what you'll see happen is the navigation system will reroute us to the second stop automatically. That was cool. So it's putting us in reverse. Look at this. Oh my God, that's awesome. I've actually never seen this happen. Usually it goes that way. That was super cool. Let me make this full screen again. That was awesome. Nobody on our left side. Okay, we made a 0 mile per hour stop. Nobody on our left. And we're going straight through. That was super cool. Okay, so that was one new difference that I'm already noticing between 13.2.2 and 13.2.7. We have a law enforcement vehicle there on our left side. It never, this is the first time I've ever seen FSD pull back from that lot. And I've taken this route over and over and over again for FSD testing. And it usually always pulls into that lot and then goes straight out the other exit. But this time it backed itself out into the parking spot. Oh, okay, this is interesting. That car was approaching us pretty quick. But anyways, it backed us up and then went along its way. That is awesome. Wow, okay. So there's a new trait or characteristic, if you will, between 13.2.2 and 2.7. So far, it's doing a phenomenal job. I have no complaints with version 13 since I got it. Like I said, about 45 days ago, I went back to check to see when I first got 13.2.2. And ever since then, I have been absolutely loving it. It has been so much fun, and I can't say enough good things about it. So we'll see how the remainder of this route goes. We're going over to our second stop. We just switched from a 25 up to a 35 mile per hour zone. It's still not doing well with speed adjustments. We're going 31 in a 35. So we went from 25 to a 35 zone, but we're still going under the limit. So now it's starting to creep up slowly. So unfortunately, it does not seem yet like 13.2.7 addressed those concerns. So this vehicle was approaching pretty quickly. Didn't know what it was going to do there, but ultimately stopped and let us pass. Now it's turning out of that exit and right behind us. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the speed adjustment is fixed. I really, really was hoping to see it get fixed, but unfortunately, I don't think that's the case yet. A couple of you guys were asking me in the comments about how FSD is doing in terms of backing out of a garage, if you have a garage at your home or house, and how it is pulling back in when you get back home. I've had pretty mixed experiences, mostly negative experiences, to be honest, with FSD pulling out of my garage and then pulling back in. It's especially bad pulling out. I don't know what it is, but I'll get the red wheel of death where it says take over immediately, and then it throws out sirens whenever I try and back out of my garage using FSD. I don't know what it sees. I'm not sure what the concern is or what the problem is there, but I'd say probably 8 out of 10 times it pretty much stops in its track, and sirens gives me the red wheel, take over immediately, and then I have to take over. So that's my perspective on it. I'm curious to know how you guys are doing with, if you have garage spaces or driveways. Let me know how it does slowing down for the speed bump. Super nice. Let me know your experience, though. I am curious. I'm really curious, actually, how you're seeing FSD respond to backing in and out of driveways. And if you have a garage, let me know your experience down below in the comments. I'm really interested to hear about others' experiences. So still doing really well with speed bumps. I saw another video on another channel that was having mixed experiences with speed bumps, but it was particularly with snow-covered speed bumps. So, you know, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one, even for humans, I would say. I mean, because these speed bumps are probably only, let's say, half a foot off the ground. So if you have a foot of snow and the roads aren't clear, if you don't know the area very well, you being the human, then you're probably going to go right through it, right? FSD is probably the same. So if the roads are clear, though, it's super smooth and very reliable. I mean, you can see here in this residential area, we're slowing down for these speed bumps and then picking speed back up very nicely. Not a problem at all. So, you know, I think it depends on the area, and you know, it really comes down to how well the roads are treated. If there's snow, if there's clear visibility like this, there shouldn't be a problem with version 13. Version 12 failed drastically with slowing down for speed bumps and then picking speed back up after the speed bump is clear. Okay, so it looks like we're approaching our second stop here. It's gonna stop right here. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this trip and then remove this second stop, click done. And then it's gonna reroute us to our next stop. I'm gonna go ahead and press and hold this button, which should re-engage FSD. All right, you saw it picked up speed and then slowed down really abruptly. Not the first time I've seen it do that before. I think it's just being very cautious, but really there's no reason to slow down that fast. It had a good amount of distance between us and the truck that was parked on the side of the road. So we're moving on to our third stop now, which is about 1.7 miles away. And you saw back there that the route completed fully to our stop. And then you saw the blue button appear, which says press and hold to engage FSD from park. So you could edit the trip before you get to that stop. There's been a bit of controversy in some of my previous videos, and I really like the discussion in terms of should you modify a trip when you're engaged with FSD before getting to the stop. That triggers FSD to reroute in real time, which is quite a challenge. I've had really critical disengagement situations when I've rerouted in real time like that, and so that sparked a lot of comments, a lot of debates in the comments, a lot of good debates, right? I still don't know where I land. I mean, I think I'm more on the side of you should be able to reroute in real time, because there's no reason you shouldn't be able to do that. If the GPS allows for that, right? FSD should maintain its position for, let's say, 10 or 15 seconds after the trip is modified, then proceed. But what I've seen is it pretty much makes a knee-jerk reaction and then tries to establish a new route based on the next stop. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, leave a comment down below if you have any experience with that, or if you have a thought in mind on how that can be improved. So we have a green light here moving forward. So far, so good. I mean, this is doing very, very well. I'm pretty happy so far. I've seen one change between 13.2.2 and 13.2.7, which was at that little kind of pull off where it backed itself out. That was handled very nicely. Going over this train track here, slowing down. Got two sets of train tracks, and then this Honda Accord is slowing down to make this left. FSD is maintaining its position and then going forward. So we're entering a 25 mile per hour speed limit zone here. Again, we are in the hurry mode. So you can see the car is making pretty swift decisions, and it's making pretty quick movements, which is nice. Lots of vehicles parked on the shoulder here. Since this is a neighborhood, we got a lot of street parking. Some beautiful homes here. I like that house with the upstairs style patio. Nice homes. So we're approaching the stop sign here up ahead, which we'll be making a left on. I think they've been releasing 13.2.7 for the majority of customers at this point. It's been pretty broadly released. So let me know down in the comments below if you have received 13.2.7 and what your thoughts are so far. We had a four-way stop here and it did very well. One thing FSD has to do is negotiate with other drivers, right? When you're at a stop sign like that, typically the first one to get to the stop sign goes, right? And I say typically because, I mean, there is no intersection. It's kind of a negotiation. If I got to the four-way stop first and there's somebody else that came at the same time or closely after me or closely before me, right? There's so many different dynamics. FSD has to start negotiating. And I've seen it negotiate very, very well. Actually, surprisingly well. And it's very strategic. Okay, so we're approaching this second or third stop at this point. I'm going to go ahead and edit the trip, remove this third stop, click done, and then it should reroute us to the next stop. It's still thinking about it, I believe. Let me see. Okay, no, it's perfect. So it's good now. So it's just rerouted us to the next stop. I'm going to go ahead and make that full screen. I hope you guys are all doing well. Again, thank you so much for all of the support and the comments, the feedback. I always want to improve the videos for you guys, and you know, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, so I appreciate every single comment. And again, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I mean, we just passed a huge milestone, over 2,000 subscribers. It's been a really, really awesome journey. All right, FSD is making a left turn here very nicely. Quite a bit of traffic here built up, which is surprising. FSD is going over this yellow line here, which is not ideal, but it's okay. I think that's what most people would probably do. I probably would have chosen this right lane to get out of this yellow markings on the road here, these yellow lines, but ultimately decided to do that. So now we're moving forward as cars are moving forward to make this left. So we'll be approaching this light here. So, I mean, it still seems like FSD 13.2.7 is not fixing the speed zone issue. It's really unfortunate. I was really excited to see that happen. Not yet. I'm sure it's coming down the pipeline, but not with this version. It doesn't seem like we have to do more testing. I will be doing more testing, but again, it just doesn't, from what I've seen right now on this drive, it doesn't seem that it's accommodating for speed limit zone changes. We saw back there in the 35 going into a 25, and vice versa. It's just not picking speed up and slowing down. So it's just kind of like stuck in that initial speed zone. So I would really, really like to see it fix that issue, because it's one of my, along with the no turn on red sign, or the lack of understanding that sign for FSD, those are my top two sort of pet peeves or call outs. And I know both of them are going to be addressed very soon. And at this point, FSD is so wonderful that I'm starting to nitpick. And you can argue those two are potentially maybe not even nitpicks, but pretty critical safety concerns. So, you know, you can kind of go both ways on that. But ultimately, I think it's very critical for them to implement that quickly. So I'm going to be testing these speed changes more frequently, so stay tuned for that. Definitely subscribe if you want to see a video. I think I will be releasing a video on just that alone. So I'll be putting it through a stress test, and I'll have roads in my area that have sudden speed limit changes, and I'll see how it does. I'll put it through different scenarios. And a couple of you guys had mentioned in the comments that setting your offset to 0, so your max offset and your offset to 0 all across the board, helps to reduce speed in zone changes. I thought that was actually really interesting. I've heard more than one of you guys mention that in the comments. So I will do a whole video on zone changes, speed limit zone changes, and how it reacts with regular offset, default offset, and then setting everything to 0. Let me know if you have tried that at all, where you set your offset to 0, and if the speed limit changes are better for you. I'm definitely curious. So far, this is doing great. This light's turning yellow. Another thing that I noticed in a previous drive of mine is that FSD is now understanding that when a car is pretty much right behind you, just tailing you, like pretty much just, you know, a couple feet away from your bumper, trying to get past you, FSD is recognizing that. And if you're not in the hurry mode, which I am right now, but if you're in the standard or chill mode, FSD will move lanes, let that car that's right behind you, tailing you, move forward, and then FSD will reassign itself back into the lane and move on, which I thought was super cool. I've actually never seen that before. It happened in my one of my previous videos, and you guys actually called it out. I didn't understand why my car was moving over for no reason and then back over, but you guys were reviewing the video and the footage and called out that there was a car right behind me, tailing me, and FSD moved over, let it pass, and then ultimately we went along its way as well. So that's cool. That was really cool. I didn't even know FSD could do those types of decisions. All right, so we're just about approaching that turn, but I noticed that there was a city bus that was stopped at the bus stop here on the right. Now it's moving forward, so we didn't catch it while it was fully stopped. I've had situations like that before. Well, here we go. So it's stopping. FSD is trying to move lanes. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. It went right around that bus. Awesome. That's exactly what I was going to say it would do, but FSD, I guess, heard me and wanted to show you guys for itself. So we're approaching this stop here. I'll let it get a little bit closer to the storefront here. I just put in some international market. This actually looks pretty cool. I'll have to check this out one day. Never been here. I know I have a few people from Ohio watching, so if you guys have been to this looks like Saraga International Grocery, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll check it out, do a video on this place one day. Let me go ahead and edit this trip and then remove this stop. Click done. And then it should route us to the next stop. Okay, it's moving forward. It's a little unsure because I rerouted again. There's that hesitation, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too bad. Let me make this full screen again. We're now moving on to our next stop. Okay, so FSD slowing down. Not exactly sure why. And I've seen this with 13.2.2 in parking lots. I've seen this a lot in a Costco parking lot. It would speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. Not sure why. I still can't figure that out. If you happen to know why, or if you've seen that for yourself, definitely let me know down in the comments below. So this is the same entrance that we just came in out of, and we will be making a left turn to get out of this plaza. Again, the same entrance. Okay, so we are going to be making a right turn. Okay, so now that car in front of us just made its turn. We are at the stop sign waiting for the road to clear on our left. And we have a clear opening. FSD is going right for it. Very nice. Okay, so we're approaching this four-way stop sign. We have vehicles on almost every side. So again, we're negotiating. Very assertively, FSD went for it. We all pretty much approached that stop, that four-way stop, all at the same time. So there was a vehicle on our left and straight ahead, and we all pretty much met at the same time. FSD started negotiating, but ultimately it was extremely assertive, as you saw there, and went right through. So negotiating with other human drivers very, very well. We're coming up here on this exit. There is a ton of backed up traffic here. I'm not sure if there's an accident up ahead or what, but there was a pretty much here on this left side of us. It seemed like everybody was stopped almost at 0 miles per hour. They're picking up now. The lane I'm in didn't have that problem. That always makes me super nervous because I don't know if somebody's going to jump out into my lane and, you know, I'm going 50, 60 miles per hour because I don't have any blockage in my lane. It always makes me super nervous because I don't know who's going to jump out if they could see me. It's always an unsettling situation, but FSD is responding very well so far. It's doing a nice job. Okay, so we're approaching our final stop here for this route. We have a red light, but nobody to our left. Made the turn very nicely there, and then we're making a left turn here into this plaza. We have a vehicle quite a ways down the road. Not a problem for us though. Okay, making a left into this plaza here. We'll see if it parks for us. I've seen, I thought I saw a release note for 1327 saying that it is better at parking, and there you go. It is. Awesome. That is super cool. Usually in this area, it never parked for me. Now this parking job kind of is not great. Okay, so it parked, but it's pretty much on the line here. But that's the first time it parked for me in this area. With 13.2.2, I've never actually seen it park in this area. This is usually my final stop for FSD testing, and this time it did. So that's cool. So I've seen two new characteristics. One is at that area where it backed up. instead of going forward. And then 2, it finally parked at the destination here where it hasn't in the past. So really cool to see. Guys, thank you for joining in to today's video. I really appreciate all the support. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching it through. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if I can make the videos better for you. If you have any FSD or Tesla video ideas, definitely leave them down below. And if you haven't already, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button. It really, really does help me out, and it grows the channel as well. So I really appreciate the support. I'll catch you guys in the next video.